Hello and welcome to episode 2. Today we will be preparing lamb curry and a beef pasta. We've just come back from winter holidays, our son's back at varsity, so we thought it would be a good idea to give you another episode, and in any event we need to prepare the meals for him anyway, so we're killing two birds with one stone. Enjoy the video. So as always, we begin with a meal that takes the longest to cook, so we'll begin with the lamb curry, and for this we will need, as usual, our tomatoes. We need a spice mix of your choice. We need some chilies, some potatoes, and of course the most important ingredient, the lamb. So we've preheated our stove. We're just waiting for it to warm up a little bit more before we start the cooking process. So obviously our meals are all about fast cooking time. So one way to ensure that you get the most optimal cooking time is to make sure that your pot is adequately heated prior to you starting your cooking process. So what I tend to do is I just pour a little bit of water into the pot to see if it's warm enough. And there you go. Now you know you've got your heat level correct. So step 1, as always, we use our can of tomato and onion mix. We add that to the pot. Once again, no oil. Thereafter, we're going to add our spices, and as mentioned in episode 1, you know, the spices or the spice level, the heat level is subjective, so you know it's up to you. So we've pre-mixed it, but as promised we will at some point give you a video on how to mix spices. So that goes in as well. I've added the garlic and ginger and the salt with the spices as well. So we could give that a good stir. Make sure everything is mixed well, because you want to form a paste with the spices. And there you go. That's perfect. We now add our meat to the mixture. And we give it a good old stir. Make sure the meat is fully covered, because you want even spice distribution.
No oil again, eh?
No oil. Golden rule number 1 of cooking at an optimal pace is to close your pot and leave it covered for at least 20 minutes. Not going to cook quick enough. So we're going to leave that for 20 minutes. So while our curry is cooking, we need to do some prep work for our vegetables and for meal number 2. So we need to rinse the beef for the pasta dish. So let's put that through a colander. And just rinse that. Leave that one side. We now need to chop about 1/4 of an onion so that we can prepare the beef dish. We then need to chop our green pepper as well. We'll give that a rinse. So I just like to do slices, because whilst you're cooking it does tend to shrink. So you want to leave it big enough so that you still have something to bite on. So whilst we're preparing our vegetables over here, it's a good idea to just heat up our stove for meal number 2, which is the pasta dish. So the green pepper and the onion are to be used in the pasta dish, but we still need to peel our potatoes for the lamb curry. So I'm going to do that as well.
That looks like your favorite knife, Olivia.
It is indeed my favorite knife. I know many people like bigger knives, but it comes to knives, because this one just fits in my hand so perfectly and it just works for me. I guess it's a preference. Chili for both dishes, so I'm just going to cut the ends off. I'm just going to score it a little bit, just to get the flavor out. So now we're going to start the pasta dish, and for that I'm going to use a little bit of flavored oil because my family loves chili. So I'm going to add a bit of oil to the pan just so that our beef can brown nicely as well. To that I'm going to add onions, and as you can see the pan is really hot, which really helps to speed up the cooking process. To that onions, I'm going to add some smoked chili. And then we're going to give it a stir. Let it brown. One green chili and one red chili. So the onions need to brown. So while we're waiting for that, we'll continue peeling our potatoes. As you can see, effective use of time. Okay, we're just going to give our onions a stir. It's almost ready, as you can see. It's changing color nicely. There we go. Ready to add our beef. They've browned nicely. Add our beef, separate it, let it cook evenly and quickly. Okay, I'm going to add a drop of water here, because as you know we don't cook with much oil, so just a drop. There you go. So as you can see, this is browned quite nicely, and it also cooks quite quickly. So I'm happy with the color here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add another drop of water and cover it. I'm going to let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to decrease the heat now. Our beef is simmering. I'm just going to add a pinch of salt to our pasta so that we can put it in the microwave. Okay, the water's just boiled. So we'll just add our water to the salted pasta.
This is also like a speedy way of cooking, eh?
Exactly, and I think we did that in episode 1 as well. We boiled the pasta in the microwave. Go. And the pasta goes in the microwave.
Duration?
I'm going to do 8 minutes as a start, and then I'll check. I'm actually going to add some chili into the curry. You just see what's happening here as well. There we go. Just going to add 2 red and 1 green. I'm going to give it another stir.
It's looking good, eh?
It is. It smells delicious as well. And we close that up again. So 5 minutes have lapsed and we need to add our green pepper to our beef. We're going to do that. So we'll add that, our sliced green pepper. And we'll let that cook down for about 3 minutes or so. So after our green peppers have cooked down, we're going to add the mushrooms, add the pasta, mix the sauce in, and done. Meal number 1 done. So I initially set the microwave at 8 minutes, as I said, and you can see there's 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. I didn't add any oil to the pasta, so I'm just showing you that even without oil, the pasta is not sticking together. I can move it around freely. So I'm just giving it a bit of a stir through so that it maintains this way of cooking. So I'm going to put it back into the microwave now to complete the cooking process. So we're going to add our mushrooms now. Let's open up and see. Then I'm going to season with some salt. And some pepper. There we go. Add a little bit more water so we can create more steam. Let those cook down as well.
It smells absolutely yummy here. So what's going on with the curry?
So as you can see, the lid is still on. It's still cooking down. I was very happy with the progress earlier when we opened up, but we'll check it shortly. As soon as our pasta dish is done, we'll check what's happening with the curry. In the meantime, we do need to cook our potatoes. I mean, we prepared it earlier, we peeled them. We need to boil some water again so that we can cook our potatoes.
And this is the secret potato cooking method.
Exactly, because often when people cook curry or any meal, for example, you sort of cook the meal and then you put raw potatoes in, which is great because it infuses lovely with the food. But when you're a working person and when you're on a time constraint and when you still want to get that effective wholesome food but in a shorter time period, I have found that pre-boiling the potatoes actually works pretty well for me. So that's what I've been doing for years. And I can tell you that the flavor is not altered in any way. It's just saving time essentially. And you're getting the same result, just doing something differently. So I challenge you to try that next time and see how that works for you. And let me know what you think.
Getting you water for the potatoes, eh?
Yes. See what's happening. That looks good. We don't like our vegetables too cooked down, so I think we're about ready to combine our pasta. Small stir. And you can see the beef has browned wonderfully. It's even browning the mushrooms now. And I like that color. It's finished, it's ready, so we're going to add that to our mixture. And as you can see, they aren't stuck together, just normal pasta. And obviously your meat to pasta ratio is something that you can decide on. I mean, some people love pasta more than they like the protein, others do it the other way around, so it's just dependent on what you like, I guess.
So why do we have the sauce on display?
Because we choose a different sauce every week. We try to keep the flavors, variant. So we're going to give our son the choice this week. He's had a few sauces, so he knows what they all taste like. So we'll give him the option to choose what he likes for this week. Go for it.
I'll grab this one, please.
Perfect. Our pasta, as you can see, we're going to open up the sauce that's just been selected. I'm going to sprinkle that over the pasta. And we're going to open a can of tomatoes. Pour that over. And we're going to mix everything through. And in 5 minutes, this dish will be cooked. So what we're going to do now is just prepare our potatoes so we can boil them in the microwave, as per usual. My favorite shortcut in the whole world. This has changed my life because I love potato, but often you don't want to wait that long for it to cook, especially when you come home from work in the evening and you've got to wait an hour for potatoes to soften. 15 minutes, my potatoes are ready, and I'm in heaven. I'm going to add my boiling water. So this meal is done. It took us all of 8 minutes to cook the pasta in the microwave, and about 12 minutes to cook the beef down, and 3 minutes for the mushrooms and the green pepper. So it didn't take us very long at all, just over 20 minutes, I would say. It would have been even quicker had we just prepared one meal, but we're doing two obviously concurrently. But if you're just preparing one meal when you're coming home from work, I promise you, eating in 20 minutes is a reality. It can really happen.
Hey, that actually beats some of the takeaways, eh?
Definitely, and I think one day we should actually do a challenge where we actually order food online, because generally the average time is between 35 and 45 minutes. And we actually cook a meal, and we do this race to see which meal comes to the table first, and then which meal is more wholesome. So I think one day we can actually do that challenge. And there we go. Beef pasta in under 25 minutes. As you can see, it's piping hot. It smells divine. The color is amazing. And there you go.
Food looks yummy. When's ETA?
I'd say about 10 minutes. We're just waiting for the potatoes. And then we've got to add the peas. And then we're virtually done. Okay, so our potatoes are ready. We're now going to add them to the lamb that's been cooking away here. And that's what I like. Consistency, the color, the look of the meat looks good. Potatoes. There we go. And I'm going to add the peas as well. And just drain them. Add the peas. Sprinkle our peas over the potatoes. Bit of stir through for one final simmer before we plate. Already the potatoes have taken on the color of the curry, even though they've been pre-boiled. So we just need to give them 5 to 10 minutes just to cook through, and then we're done.
This looks amazing. I think obviously the same recipe can work for boneless meat as well, eh?
Correct. And obviously if you use less meat, you'll obviously have a much faster cooking time. But obviously we're cooking for Sunday lunch as well as takeaways for our son, so we cook a bit extra. So as you can see, we already have our plate here, which means plating is near, but we have a few minutes left, so we're going to prepare our rice, and we're preparing our rice in the microwave as well. And this is basmati rice, so you have to be careful because you don't want mush. But you know what? It's still quick and easy in the microwave. I'm going to add my boiling water now. Make sure the rice is covered. And I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 10 minutes. Okay, so our rice has been strained and we rinsed it with some cold water to stop the cooking process. And now we're going to plate. As you can see, we have soft potatoes for those who like the soft cooking potatoes, and then we also have some potatoes that are still quite firm for those who like their potatoes firm. So you please everyone with this cooking method. And all we want to do is get a little bit of that gravy and just put it on top. There you go. And there you have it, lamb curry on a plate.